The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the new channel. We are here not only to help you see the new you, but be the new you. I am Jesse Francis Rebustillo, live streaming here from Marcelo Green in Parañaque City, and you're watching the Season 8 premiere, episode 130 of the HR Hotline. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's a wonderful Tuesday, and we are here again for this episode on still what should HR do now that we are in a lockdown. This is continuing. And we changed the format that every Tuesdays and Thursdays it will be HR consultations, and on Saturdays we're going to have a guest on the screen. But the topic should be real. I am even planning to have later on, when everything is settled, to have thematic or topic based episodes. But this time, let us continue on what we are supposed to do. In particular, what are the competencies that we must be actually developing our human resources and our leaders now, and preparing them for the new normal, whatever that will come. I am commissioned, ang lalim ah. I am asked by friends of mine, big organizations, actually there, one, two, three already, that I am doing a webinar for their leadership, for their supervisors and managers on this. One is about agility and resiliency, developing agility and resiliency, and the other one is actually developing new competencies of the new normal, for developing their leaders on the new competencies for the new normal. And there are a lot, and it's not even actually a refresher. There are a lot of things that leaders must understand. The other one is actually on the policies and activities that you must do. I'm so glad that Gemma is already here, and Mr. Nick Satur is already here also. So we can start the ball rolling. I'm trying to invite other friends of ours to join us here. Look, I am actually using my phone to prompt them that they should already be joining us. Okay, so let me start. So there are only two topics that we are going to discuss today. One of which is still on what HR should do while we are on a lockdown, but in particular, what are the competencies that they need to influence, develop, or tell their leadership to adapt and adopt. There is a difference between ADOPT and ADAPT. Adaptability and adaptability. You know, I got this actually from past President Jerry Plana. Last time he mentioned that when we were conversing on the hybrid that was written by the past President Ernie Cecilia. If you can remember, if you were around last time, we were discussing about the hybrid, and then Ernie Cecilia mentioned that it's the mindset of the leaders that should we look into first before they have to embrace that change, because before we can really realize that the work from home, the alternative working arrangement, and the hybrid arrangement can really be successful. And Jerry mentioned that we need to really influence, teach, and coach our leaders that they should be embracing that particular change. So let's go into what are the competencies. You know, I got this from the World Economic Forum. There were around 12 and another 5 of the competencies that leaders should be able to develop now. One of which is adaptability. It is the ADAPT, adaptability. And beyond that, the foundation of that is actually agility. The agility quotient, the thinking, the agile thinking, for you to be considered a leader who is adaptable. So wala nang mga sinasabing inerte. You have to adapt to situations. So adaptability here is you may have what you call a distinct style in leadership: democratic, consultative, paternalistic. Well and good. And then that is actually your brand. But this time, since we are on a virtual mode, for lack of any vocabulary, we call it situational. But the term now is actually adaptive. Adaptability, adapting to the situation, adapting to whom you are dealing with, adapting. So it's adaptability. And then adaptability that's not only that, it's so encompassing. Adaptability even in the platforms that you're going to use, even in the topics that you're going to use. So adaptability. So we have already here from we have here June, Sally, Jemai, and Nick Satur, and Jennifer. Jennifer, yes. So Jennifer here, can we two competencies needed in the hybrid work model: managing virtual teams and cross-cultural agility. That is actually correct. Let's discuss it first. The managing virtual teams. That's actually coming from Jennifer. Managing virtual teams. That is, Jennifer, spot on. Iba po. Iba yung face-to-face to manage virtual teams. Iba po itong virtual. Kasi ito dapat meron kang asynchronous, one-on-one, and later on meron kang synchronous. You are together. And here, iba po ang style. Alam ko yan. Alam ko yan, Jennifer. Iba. Kasi it will take a lot of effort from both sides. You really have to squeeze talaga, coach people to talk, and then to really be collaborative. The essence here is that before, wag na ma-blame, dapat nag-team build ka na. So what we do now is, yung aking sariling definition, that you really have to do team building every day. So very careful not to slight, hurt anybody, because you are there to not yung the old of the inspiration ng leadership, hindi. Yung collaborative, yung communication, collaboration, coordination, cooperation, and synergy, talagang to the hilt na gagawin mo yan ngayon. To the hilt na gagawin mo yan ngayon. So iba po ang pag-deal ng virtual teams. Jennifer, can you add more tips? The other one na sinabi ni Jennifer Nuya here is cross-cultural agility. Yes. Yung talagang before ang iniisip natin yan, yung diversity. Di ba? Diversity is man, woman, matanda, bata, di ba? And then the multi-generational workforce, yung millennial, zillennial, and then we have yung LGBTQ, di ba? Hindi po yan. This is actually yung, you really have, the leader now must be able to be savvy, maalam, doon sa how to deal with cross-cultural. Kasi iba po ang approach. Iba po ang approach. Iba, at ang ngayon, wag natin sabihin na they use it na yung mental health issue, pero very, very sensitive ang mga tao. Very sensitive. Because one is it's recorded, and besides it's not face-to-face, even if you are joking, dapat maano kanyan. Ako nga, I will tell this to you. In one of my webinars, the usual Jesse, I've been joking a lot. I've been telling them, so are you married? Are you know? One of the participant placed in the chat box that I am a sexist. Si Mr. Rebustillo, sexist. So you really have to be sensitive. Kasi even the way you discuss things, people are so sensitive now because nga hindi kayo face to face, hindi nakikita yung amoy mo, hindi naaamoy ka. So iba po yung sinasabi dito ni Jennifer na managing course culture. Can we spot on Gemma here? Gemma Duque. Gemma, I agree with inadaptability, PPJC, because of the frequent and fast changes we are experiencing. I believe this is what leaders need to have now. We should embrace the new technique and be open to non-traditional solutions. I will add resourcefulness as well as much adaptability and agility. O, tingnan mo, nabubulal ako, so I have to be adaptive to all the words that I'm using. Yes. Ang mahirap nito kasi for the longest time, you have been using that brand and sometimes it's purposive leadership that you would like to be known like this, ay hindi na pwede. Di ba yung, para bang mayroon dyan mga leader na you are so silent, you don't want to talk, and then you like, yung para bang, are people working for you or working with you? O, malaking bagay yun, ha? Working for you or working with you? Yun ang style mo. So, you got paternalistic, hindi ba pwede ngayon kasi it has to be adaptive. So, you really have to change on every situation. So, right. Then we have your Gemma Duque. Can we agree with this? Since a lot of us now work with people from different cultures plus working remotely po, yun. Tapos, ang ano mo to, Gemma, you have to be very careful in how you approach it kasi people are so a little bit, maybe because of the pandemic, are a little bit sensitive. So you really have to be savvy and negotiate all the paradoxes, diba? Kasi matanda, bata, millennial, so these are actually opposite pananaw. You really have to blend it. So, ang daming ways, and daming techniques before you can really have it. So, you have to change your style. So, let's have Jennifer Nuya again. I love this conversation. Thank you, Jennifer, and thank you. Manager by outcomes, not by process. Ay, naku, ang galing-galing ni Jennifer. Jennifer, talaga kung ano dapat endorse ka. Manage by outcomes, not by process. Support the development and maintenance of distributed environment. Support the development and maintenance of distributed environment. Malalim po yun. Manage by problem solving. Remain sensitive to time differences. Stay more explicit in your communication. So, paki-hold on muna dyan, Derek, kasi we'll discuss it one by one. Managed by outcomes. Yun na nga, yung dati noon, managed by objectives. You don't really have to check on them if they're working on it from time to time. Just make sure that there is something to do on that day, and that to do should be realized or achieved on that day. And then that will be okay. Wala kang pakialam kung sinong gumagawa, kung kailan niya gagawin. Basta mayroon kayong usapan that at this time, it will be done. Ang mahirap nito, if this is there are the manufacturing process that one achievement or one result, one output is actually again endorsed to another. So naghihintay yung sa process, no? So pero titingnan mo that it is done. Alam mo ang ipapasok natin dito, completed staff work. Ayun, nabubulol ako. Completed staff work. As much as possible, since they are working on different location, that particular person must be able to complete or achieve an assignment on his own. So dapat iibahin mo yung process kung pwede. Hindi na pwede na yung kung sa HR, yung isa nag-interview, yung isa nagpa-test, yung isa magpa-interview, yung isa hindi na pwede. Dapat kung ano, by account. By account. The other one is support the development and maintenance of distributed environment. Yes, distributed, you're located on different location, and then of course how you're going to maintain communication, to maintain their engagement. Ang mahirap nga ngayon is yung communication and engagement is actually at stake. Diba? How are you going to maintain that particular engagement? At ang engagement, we always have to remember, it is discretion. Discretion yun ng tao kung magiging engaged siya o hindi. Kasi, ay, totoo yan ha. Not only in small organization and big organization, machismis po ako. What they can just do is leave the group or just inform them, I have some problems with my connectivity. Oo, ganun ang sinasagot. I had a very, very sad experience on that. That hindi mo matawag-tawag yung tao. So you have to really manage and maintain that environment. Then of course manage that by itong problem solving. If you know Kepner Trego, hindi na po Kepner Trego, di ba Jennifer? Hindi na. Kasi before year dapat meron ka munang mag-uumpisa ka sa creative thinking, at creative thinking na doon na yung innovation, na doon na yung invention, di ba? Aside from creative thinking, papasok na din yung design thinking. Mabilis ha, hindi yung paparti-parti ka. For creative, design, and then of course, your systems thinking, ang iniisip mo that is data-driven, that your decision will actually be affecting all other aspects, all other facets, and then that one of strategic. So you do those thinking even before you come up for the solution. Hindi na po naghahanap kung may problema. The mere fact that we are here, there is a problem. The mere fact, Gemay, that you are there in the company, hindi ka kinuha para lang dyan palamuti. Diba? Kinuha ka to solve some issues, challenges, obstacles, and problems. So as a leader, on this time of the pandemic, hindi ka na mag-iisip kung ano ang problema. Sa totoo lang, yan ang problema ng karamihan na nag-aayos ng ating pandemya, kasi naghahanap pa kung ano ang problema. Hindi na po. When you do all those thinking, especially yung systems thinking and strategic thinking, then sa systems thinking kasi, you make sure that the data are there. The data will tell you on what to do. On what to do. Okay. So then the next one is remain sensitive to the differences. Yes, very sensitive ka ngayon sa differences. And that is actually managing the multi-generational, multi-sectoral, multicultural workforce. And this is actually, baka naman sabihin, nagdilektura si Sir Jess. No, we're just conversing here. Ganito lang po ako kasi excited ako sa mga gandang topic. But ito dapat ang sinasabi ng HR sa mga leaders, influence them. Through what? The intervention can be a town hall or a meeting or a one-on-one. Tell them this. Itong sinabi ni Jennifer dito, copy this. And then tell this to your bosses. Paki-forward po nito kasi importante ito. Kasi ang dami kong estudyante nagtatanong, ano ang gagawin namin? Alam mo, walang ginagawa ngayon kung hindi magchismisan. Mahina talaga si Sir nito. Si Sir talaga matigas ang ulo. Ano kaya kung ito ang sabihin mo? Itong sinabi ni Jennifer here. And then, stay more explicit in your communication. You stay more explicit in your communication. Ang gustong sabihin nito, clear. Alam mo, dapat meron kang mga ganito. When I communicate with people, I write it down so that I will not leave anything. I will not leave anything behind. And then it has to be clear. Okay. And then we have here now, the next one is from June Sally. June Sally is actually from Jensen. He is an HR consultant. Okay. We need an ethical leadership to instill transparency with the organization. Right, June. We need an ethical leadership. Ethical, I will discuss that also. This will lead easier adaptability to the present situation. June here used O. There's a big difference between A and O. Yes. Yeah, okay. For a while, can we have the break, please? Can we have the break, please? There is somebody out. Okay, can we have the poster that invites them? Yes. So this is a live stream platform on online shows that people on the go. We're inviting you to watch all our shows as seen in your screen. We aim to transform the lives of our viewers through engaging, authentic, and original content. Our mission is to become a community where passionate people accept each other, share inspiration, and promote positive transformation. Of course, don't forget always to watch the support HR hotline 3 times a week. Be my lunch date every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. More upcoming shows follow the TNC now on Facebook, YouTube, and other social media platform. Enjoy our life-changing shows because we made them for you. Okay, can also have that poster that I sent you. Let us invite them for yes. Susan Vidal sent this to me, and then I am endorsing a webinar on managing risk and protecting what's important on a financial education series. Can you just screenshot this, and then I would like you to attend. By the way, tomorrow it's the PMAP general membership meeting, and my Menti Michiguchi will be one of the speakers. So let's go back, direct. And let's spot on again Mr. Ismail Saleh. I'm very sorry I have to cut short earlier because it's this way. I have two boys from the neighboring sitio. Uh, what do you call this? Nagwalis. Because I have a big garden. And then it's already raining and they would like to go home already. So I have to cut short and then already give them their pay so that to let them go. I do this, but I am so scared that there is actually physical distancing with people that I ask them to help. So let's go back. Ethical leadership to instill transparency. You're right, June, but ethical, it's actually something that you must be clear. Be clear. What do you mean by ethics? Ethics, there is what you call the pathos, the ethos, and the logos. A lot of us are just after the logos. This is actually the brand. This is actually your how you present yourself. But how about the ethos, the pathos, the drama that you do, that the things that you manifest, your moving around, the facial expression, and then of course the ethics, and these are the norms, and these are the norms. Yes, so we need an ethical leadership to instill transparency within the organization. This will lead easier adaptability to the present situation. Okay, so can we spot on Jennifer Nuya? Speaking of this pandemic, our government needs more people who have expertise in design and systems thinking. Almost 2 years into the crisis, departments are still working in silos. Yes, Jennifer, this is what I really mean by that. Speaking, yes, I just don't know. Hindi ako nagyayabang, siguro tawagin ako kasi I already have a ready program on that. I did it for one big hospital in the South. And then I gave them actually a half-day discussion on this module that the Kepner-Trego of the scientific way of coming up with the decision making is already passé. What we have to really do is practice that one of first is the open space. You have to think of everything that is in there. Then after that, you start with I think it's a process. Your creative thinking, then if there's a need, your design thinking, then your systems thinking. That what you are going to decide will really affect. And in the process of systems thinking, you need your your data analytics, and then after that, your strategic thinking. You don't really even have to go into that coming up with alternatives, coming up with options, because while you are looking into that, going into that, you're already coming up with a solution. It's actually solution-based. Jennifer, siguro mag-collaborate tayo nito that we have to tell people, be it an association just like here in our Owners Association or the Philippines, they have to use this thing. Hindi naman kami po napakatalino, pero ayun ang nakikita namin na dapat ang thinking ganun. Ganun po. Pag-isipan. Kahit na dito po sa bahay, hindi na po ako dito nagde-decision thinking nung Kepner-Trego. Hindi. Ako dito may oras, nag-creative thinking kasi nag-i-invent. Nag-i-invent na ako eh. Sa mga kahit na sa pagkain, kahit na sa paglinis, nag-i-invent ka eh. You have to be creative, you have to be innovative. So may oras, doon na, kasi dapat mauuna yan bago ka doon nag-isip. Okay, so that is it. So, yes, Jemai. Yes, I agree. Then we have, yes. Then yes, Mr. Rene Nair is with us. Yes, yes. Good PM. Yes, thank you very much, Ido Rene. We are discussing here what are the competencies that will be required for us to really move into the new normal. Can you give me a second because my dog is knocking on my door. There will come a time that my dogs will here will be better than a lot of other people because they are with me when I do webinars and they are with me when I do live streaming. And you can hear them knocking because they're listening to my voice and they would like to be with me. You can just imagine me, either Rene. I am in my room in front of my laptop talking to you, but on my beside my stool are actually my pets. And they will insist to be with me. Alam na alam siguro nila yung creative to system thinking. Yes. Oh, yes. Either executive director in Rene and past president Rene Henner of the People Management Association of the Philippines. For the HR digital more revolution, HR must not just adopt change, but HR must lead it. We need a culture change towards digital HR. Yes. So that's another competency. Ang mahirap nito, Rene nga, yung HR hindi talaga digital savvy. Pwede nagpabili ng mga apps, ng mga solusyon, pero hindi siya marunong gumamit. Diba? Ako, I'm really also trying to embrace that. Diba? But I mean, you have an Android, you have an apps, you have a system. That means you must be able to embrace it. And then also try to influence everybody to do it. I am a consultant in one organization wherein, yes, they have the technology, they even have the budget, but the leadership are actually not sold to use the technology. Kasi ang hirap po, this is actually a change management. Change management po itong sinasabi ni Rene. That is actually change management. Yung para bang ang dali-dali sabihin mo na maggamitin mo na. Hindi. That should really be a culture. Kaya tama siya, the digital culture na dapat gamitin. May alam, ang dami ko po alam, Rene, na mayroong mga HRIS, na mayroong mga application na hindi naman talaga ginagawa. Alam mo, you have two experiences na nagawa ko ito. When I was with Inquirer, I was in charge of a job market, and job market actually is the face-to-face, diba? It's in the newspaper, face-to-face job fair. But we're now moving into that one of being digital, just like Job Street. I was actually involved in doing that. I am an HR, and I am at the time already old, and I cannot really understand. I really put it into my system. Yung design noon, yung mga ilalagay. Kasi you have what you call programmers, you have developers. Pero may oras, they cannot really get what you really would like, the look of your say, website. Ikaw ang mag-iisip how it will look, saan yung billboard, saan yung ano yung kukunin ng mga data. Ikaw mag-iisip. So siguro ako nakapag-experience ako. So I'm telling you this, kaya po yan. Wala pa akong kaalam-alam. But I really tried to embrace it, research, and actually do it para magamit. Kaya nung nagkaroon kami nung Mercer's performance management system, ay alam ko po yan. Kasi I really embrace and try to understand it. Pero I will honestly tell you na ang mahal-mahal po inong Mercer, and we did that for our performance management, yung pay for position, pay for person, pay for performance. Pero meron dun isang bagay na hindi ko nagamit to think that I am on it. Yung paggamit ng system for learning and development. Ngayon ko lang na-realize na mayroon yun. Mayroon po yun. So, yun ang tinasabi ni Rene, na you really have to be, really embrace a change and put it into your culture that you use it. You use it. Thank you, Rene, for that. Na at least nasabi ko yun. Then we have Jennifer Nuya. You can spot on. Yeah, for collaborative projects. Yes, tayo po, Jen, magawa tayo nito. Then we have Gemma Duque. I like this conversation. Cute dog wants to join. Ayan. Oo, yung aking mga dogs nandito, mamaya papakita ko. And then, keep on knocking on the door. Then let's have Mr. Cloyd Salamat. Cloyd Salamat is now with a new organization. Congratulations. You're listening. And then we have Mark. Mr. Hernandez, can you join us in our conversation? Internet is unstable. Yeah, Mr. Hernandez. Yeah, alam mo, I really would want Mark to be an officer, a top guy of PIMAP. He is a very, what do you call this, passionate person. Nakikita na i-stock ko yan eh. Very, very holistic and integrated. Nagbibisikleta yan at gayan din ko. Pareho kaming dalawa. Kung saan siya mahinto, dun siya kakain. I love that, Mark. I love that, Mark. Then we have here Jennifer Nuya. Whoa, that's putting the horse before the cart. We create a solution, then build the tech around it. Yun na nga eh. Yun na nga eh. Diba? Diba, Jen? Ang daming gumaganon. Ang dami kong alam. I will not anymore mention this. Government and private. Na mayroon nakadoon tapos hindi naman nagamit. So, yes. So, those are the competencies. Ang dami pa po. Siguro we'll have on Thursday, ipiga po natin kasi we just, ang nakita lang natin is yung sinabi ni Edie Rene on digitalization, and then yung sinabi on collaboration, on decision making. Nandito pa lang tayo dun eh. Hindi pa nga tayo nagdi-discuss on the competency on communication. Nag-iba na po yung communication. Yung mga na-identified po doon is not only on digitalization, systems thinking, yung resiliency, adaptability. Marami po. So yung World Economic Forum, I identified it already. What are the competencies that leaders should have now? You know, I even added yung tinatawag natin na step-back leadership. It's actually Lloyd Luna's book. And then it's also some thought leaders have thought of that. Yung step-back, this is the time na we have to do that step-back leadership. Some of the leaders should now, what they call this, step back and step aside. Do not actually leave. You don't leave the organization. Stepping back is actually empowering them and then just coaching. Stepping aside is that you are already just be a consultant or just mentors. So what is that I'm telling you? You must already have that framework in your mind, or that competency, that's a competency, or that quality that you already, while still a supervisor, you're already stepping back and letting people develop and hone themselves. I also included that. In any transformation, HR should lead in embracing change. Yes. So what Mark here is telling us is actually the competency on change management. And change management, ay nako, ang daming po yun, Mark. Change management should start from you. So dapat may emotional intelligence ka. And change management is about your work ethics. Dapat meron kang work-life integration. If you are following me, change management now is on your performance. So dapat nag-change. So it's actually a change in mindset. Yung sinasabi po rito ni Mr. Mark Hernandez that we must be actually in the lead for change management. Ang hirap po nun. Ako mismo nagsasabi kasi it will take, hindi lang yan, I am now doing change management. Hindi po yun. It's actually developing yourself, yung lahat, 360 yourself, your people, and then your bosses, so that you will really have to be, yun sinasabi ng transform or pivot to the new normal. Ang mahirap niyan, if one of the stakeholders is not actually cooperating and collaborating with a change. Ang mga change management, di ba ang madali? Single ka, married. Di ba? Nandito ka sa Marcelo, then you go to the province. Meron akong kapitbahay na inisa siguro sa pandemic, maganda na rito sa Marcelo. Ngayon nandun sila sa Bulacan. Nandun daw ngayon yung COVID. Sa akin. So it's very, pero yun nga, Akala mo yung pag-transfer easy? No. It will take a lot of process. Just imagine yung anak niya na may barkada rito at ngayon bago na ang barkada. Diba? Or yung gaya single ka na hindi ka marunong tumabi, may katabi at ngayon mayroon ka ng katabi. So I'm just giving you example that the change is really actually difficult. Much more if you are the one leading that in organizations. Yung baga magdaling na, I can do change management. O Sir Jesse, magturo ka nga sa amin ditong webinar ng change management. O siyempre naman ako, naghahanap lang ako ng income, I can do that. But I've been telling them that it is not kasi it starts with the individual. Dapat may emotional intelligence ka. Emotional intelligence that you are ready, that you are courageous enough for the change. The term is courageous enough for the change. And after that, papasok na yung agility quotient mo. And after that, you have to influence, be a leader, influence your group na dapat mag-change. Isa lang dyan sa HR team mo na medyo still behind, you are not anymore successful. And the next time, come up with interventions. And this is now your mentoring, this is now your coaching, or this is now your mga FGDs, that everybody is actually with you, holding hands for the change. Pero galing ito sa top, sa bottom to top. Pero dapat titingnan mo rin yung top to bottom. Malay mo naman yung leaders inyo ayaw talaga mag-change. So change management, yung sinasabi ni Mark, napakaganda doon. Kasi ang sinabi ni Mark, can we spot on again Mark Hernandez? Yes. In any transformation, HR should lead in embracing change. Yan po. Pero yun na, napagagaling na sinabi ni Mark, pero this is actually very deep. Ang dami niyang gagawin. We still have time, and we have here a lot of from Ido Rene to Jemai to Ismail Saleh. Can we go to the second topic that we're supposed to do in this episode, which is actually, so what now? So what are the things that has to be reviewed and has to be revised? Review and revise. Can I just get one or a couple of suggestions that Jennifer, can you have or Mark or Cloyd? We are many already in the room. Ang dami natin dito sa room. So can we have people to share? Ano kayang i-revise? I will start. Alam mo ang unang i-revise? Timekeeping. Everybody, what HR should do, we are still on that theme on what HR should do. And in this particular, what is it to be reviewed and revised is timekeeping. I know it's already getting into be a friction, an irritant. May mga executive directors, malapit malalaman na ninyo, may mga HR managers, may mga estudyante ko nagtatawag na they are really a little bit uncomfortable with the check-ins and the check-outs and the way that time is being done now. So everybody siguro must review on how we are going to take into the attendance. Tanggalin siguro yung that thinking, that traditional thinking na iniisip pa doon sa pag-reco ng salary sa time. I hope you share this. Alam mo, kaya ko nasabi yan kasi that is what I did when I was the HR director of Inquirer. Yan yung mga una kong ginawa. Ang tawag ko noon, for lack of any vocabulary, flexi time. Di ba yung flexi time, you come in at 8, go home at 5, 9, 6, 10, 7. So flexi time noon. Ginawa ko pa yan na flexi time. Tapos, hindi nga, there was a time that before I was promoted to sales, ang ginawa ko noon, for say, the editors, they don't even have to come time in at in the morning, wala pong ginagawa kundi nanonood ng TV at nagkikipag-usap. Ang mga news, dumarating po mga alas 2, alas 3. So, we require them just to come at 3 o'clock and go home at 6 when they are done. So, it's by management objective. Doon ako nag-umpisa sa editors. Then, after that, the reporters. We even that in the CBA. Yung reporters, hindi na namin pinapag-time as long as they can log in around 5 news and 1 supposed to be a hot topic. Then when I became the sales ABP, you know what I did was hindi ko na nga pinapa-time in sila, pinipirmahan ko na yun. Kasi I told them that I'm from Ulrich. Nakuha ko yan kay Ulrich. Salespeople should be out there. Hindi naman yun nagsabihin, manunod ng sine. Oh, Diyos ko, hindi mo na mauubos ang sine lahat. They watch the movie in the Monday. We meet on a Tuesday. Thursday, they stay at home to clean. Kasi may goal, may quota. They must be able to generate around 500,000 a week. Kung nakuha na nila yan, di tapos na. So yan ang sinasabi natin dito sa things that you have to review. One is time. Can we spot on Jennifer Nuya here? Before Jennifer, can we have Mark? Si Mark may sinabi, try changing how you'll review performance of... Yes, Mark, that's really true. How can we... Let us review how can we check on the performance of everybody. Yeah, yun yung sinasabi ni PP Jerry Plana na ang sinabi niya na not on the incentive, kasi dapat napaka-focus tayo doon, not even on the evaluation, in particular the form. Performance is more on the conversation, the advice on how the person, the feedback and the advice on how the person can improve performance, and you need it now. So people actually lost while working from home. You need actually performance management. Actually, this HR should just start that idea, influence that idea, trigger that idea to all the managers that they should be doing what they call coaching, actually coaching yun. Then we have Jennifer Noah. PP Jesse, thank you for highlighting this employees' needs of autonomy. Yes, Jennifer, yes. Kasi we are nga in this what you call hybrid, hindi ba? Yung we have to review and come up with ways how we can. Work should not be regulatory. Di ba? Kaya nga yan nandyan kasi naghanap trabaho. And I think this is the message that we should give to everybody. Nung naghanap ka ng when you were applying, you were looking for a job. Sorry, magtrabaho ka. So, doon kasi sa face-to-face, nasanay na we keep on, parang yung prodding them, hand-holding them. Ngayon that we are now working from home, they should actually work. So, babalik ka talaga doon on the commitment. So, let's go into Jamay Duque. Agree with timekeeping. To add to that are the benefits which may include allowance that employees working from home need to have up to the health benefits. This is also lead to reviewing processes that may need to change due to a more permanent work from home setup by all of some of the employees. Yes, Gemma, at this time, that is what HR should do and what management should do. They should not be dreaming of going back to the face-to-face because now it is known. I am very updated with the chismes around the world. They are now actually institutionalizing work from home. And ladies and gentlemen, let this be an announcement. HR should be at home. Magtatawag nun yung hybrid. When there is need for a face-to-face, kasi siyempre may party, and then you are there. But when you are actually working in your things, you have to work from home. So it's not even an alternative work arrangement. You are in 3 days in a week, you are there in the office. No, it's hybrid. You just will be there when there is a need for a face-to-face. That also includes um, finance. And what is needed? Technology. Hindi pa pwede, sir, kasi dapat ako nandun. Mahina ang technology mo. Kasi sir, may mga confidential. Mahina ang trust. I'm very sorry. Sometimes I'm so brutal. Pero dapat halugugin natin, Jemay, di ba? Actually, ang pinakamalalim is the trust issue. You don't want people to work at home kasi gusto mo pang bantayan. Gusto mo pang bantayan. Nako, hindi na po. COVID-19 is teaching us what is actually should be done. Yes, another from Jennifer Nuya. Unfortunately, with the roles of remote work, some execs don't trust their people. No, nauna ka sa akin. Hindi ko pa ito naman. Their people to deliver. This is reflective in micromanaging teams which frustrate the high performers. Totoo yun, Jen. Jen, totoo yun. Magchismisan tayo mamaya. Tatawagan kita. Kasi, alam mo, Jen, meron akong dalawang organizations na yung mga managers are actually complaining. May oras kaya maybe it's the impatience, maybe siguro yung nagkasanayan na yung di ba noon kung wala ka nang magawa iikot ka, nagawa na. Para ba dito ba sa bahay, may oras kung wala akong ginagawa, I go around and ask my help kung naayos na ito. May oras nakakarinig akong ng sagot na hindi maganda sa tenga. Sa totoo lang, ang kulit ko. I'm so articulate. Maarte na, makulit pa. So hindi na. Kasi ang tatanungin mo ngayon, are they working for you or are they working with you? Yes, Jennifer. Jennifer, magtawagan tayo. Ay, nandito yung aking idol, si Jerry Plana. Ba't ka dumating na matatapos na? With remote work part of the hybrid work arrangement, how can leaders rate the qualitative part? That is the behavior. If they can't see remote workers, I'll repeat, with remote work part of hybrid work arrangement, how can leaders rate the qualitative part behaviors if they can't actually see the remote worker? Should we just rely on managers' feedback or get from other sources as well? Should the qualitative part be rated that will affect pay decisions? Yun na nga, Jerry. Very nice input kasi nga, we are now in this discussion. What are the things to be reviewed and what are the things to be revised and what are the things that we need to come up? I think this should be actually be thought of. Jerry, can you share with us, if not now, on Thursday, Jerry, be with us on Saturday, nasa screen po tayo. Jerry, can you tell us on this? Kasi actually, ating conversation ngayon galing sa sinabi mo last time. So ito na naman, you are inputting here. Ang input mo ngayon, ang thoughts mo ngayon are, can we spot on again, Jerry Plana, please? Importante. Ito, that one of how can leaders rate the qualitative part of the behavior? Kasi hindi nga face-to-face. And should we just rely on managers' feedback or get from other sources? So talagang mababago ang ating pananaw. Yan, naumpisa ni Mark Hernandez on the performance at ito naman kay Jerry, and how are we going to rate it? So let us really review. I cannot think of a concrete solution for that pa, Jerry. Help me kung paano ito magawa na siyempre siguro ang magagawa mo are questionnaires or siguro this can be maybe if you can have siyempre yung FGD mo asynchronous siguro. So this is more of an output based. Ang nakikita ko, Jerry, para bang ito na yung performance ng nasa ano yan, yung you are actually on a ano nga yung tawag nun? Yung gig economy, Jerry. Yung parang sa gig economy, you're not actually after how the behavior that they do, but actually yung result. Maybe it's on the result and the act on the impact. Doon tayo siguro after. Hindi ko pa maisip. Jerry, help me kung paano nga talaga makita yung behavioral aspect of the, para bang ginagawa pero umiiyak. Ganon yun. O ginagawa, galit naman. Di ba? Or ginagawa just for the heck of it. Di ba? So, pero ang tanong nga doon, Jerry, you have to review it. How many percent? Does it really matter? Kasi di ba you're just actually after the output. So, yun ang mga idea dapat. Very nice, very nice. I like this kasi it's actually, even myself, I am provoked on what we are going to do with that. We'll go back to what you said, Jerry. Whom should be given a reward? The ones working from home or the ones actually in the office? Dapat yan equitable. So, magka-come up ng standards, magka-come up ng ways how to really gauge and measure yung ang tinatawag na engagement. Siguro, Jerry, mag-uumpisa tayo. Naalala mo yung mga dinidiscuss natin, Jerry, yung sinasabing discriminatory? So, siguro yung behavior will be on the, ay, nakuha ko na. Makikita yung rating sa behavior doon sa discriminatory. Kung nagkusa, Jerry, nakuha ko. Ay, Diyos ko, sayang. Sana face-to-face tayo, Jerry, at may kape. Yes, nakuha ko na, Jerry. Siguro, ang pag-rate mo doon, kung nagkusa, nag-initiate. Dito naman, ang magsasabi ko, which I also got it from you, dapat maayos yung KRAs. So, maayos dapat yung job analysis and KRA so that the people will know what are really his key responsibility areas. And then maayos din yung performance management na galing dun sa strategic planning from the goals to the objectives to the to-dos. So with the KRAs and the to-dos, siguro yung tao magkukusa. Para bang yung accountability, the sense of responsibility which is accountability. Ay, Jerry, ang ganda ng pinasok mo, pinag-isip mo ako ngayon, nagutom na ako. Right. So, ang tanong ni Jerry is how you're going to actually rate the behavior might be on doon sa nagkusa. So, it's not even anymore yung face-to-face na ipaprompt mo pa. Ipaprompt mo pala gumising ka. Ipaprompt mo na magluto ka na. Ipaprompt mo pala na dagdagan mo ng asin. I'm thinking of my boy. Hindi. Another thing we need to revisit is how we build culture with a hybrid work arrangement. People working from home and working from the office. Yes. How we will build a culture. Yes. So I think, Jerry, yun ang pag-usapan natin sa Thursday. That one that I am thinking, I would like to validate that. You help me, Jerry, ha? Itong pinasok ko, in-input mo na naman, ha? That siguro doon makikita mo ang pag-rate is more on his initiative at pagkusa and how we are going to put a rubric, are we going to put a value on people actually doing that. Pero ang sasabihin naman, sir, hindi ko nagawa kasi hindi ko alam. So dapat talaga clear yung ating ating to-dos and ating KRA. But the one that you just inputted, Jerry, is that one of culture naman. What will be the culture of the hybrid? Agree to Mark, performance review was one of the challenges when the pandemic hit. How do we monitor and measure performance with a work from home setup? Yun na nga. So these are actually very thought-provoking. All of us here must actually now collaborate and think, yes, Mark, how are we going to change that particular the process, the methods, the ways that we have to do to look into our performance. What was inputted by PP Jerry in previous episodes is that focus on the conversation, focus on the coaching. But paano mo nga talaga ma-measure na ngayon kasi they're working from home? Jennifer here, since companies save money from real estate, utilities, maintenance, etc., they can offer electricity, internet allowance to remote workers. Okay, this is one way. This is one way. This is actually, sige, nandito na yung how are you going to develop a culture? How are you going to look into the performance? Ito na sinabi ni Jennifer. Offer electricity, internet allowance, and remote for the remote workers. Na dito nag-develop ka na ng culture, nag-develop ka na ng you take care of your people, and then they're already technical, they are provided with the support for technology. Pwede yun. Pero mas napoprovoke ako yung sinabi ni Pipi Jerry on that of how you can check on yung performance na nag-ano dito kay Mark. Ang nakikita ko, Mark and Jerry, is medyo on the initiative that they are doing it because they know how to do it, and they're doing it because they are after the achievement of the team. So talagang i-review natin yung team collaboration, yung di ba? And then yung communication. Ang nakikita ko, Jerry, Pipi Jerry, and Mark, is that you don't actually prompt them. They really do it. So the process should be there. Okay? Can we... good point. It's high time teams get together and decide what culture they want to create based on a current and future work demands. This is yan nga, Jennifer, this is one of those things that HR should initiate and do now. Yes, the biggest change is from valuing presence to valuing performance. I love this, Jerry. Gumawa ka ng libro nito, Valuing Presence and Valuing Performance. After 18 months working from home, employees' return to office must be managed well. We have to listen to how they want to do work, otherwise we risk losing our talent. If we cannot provide the flexibility they need, flexibility in work will be the now competitive advantage in attracting and retaining talent. Right, Jerry? Ayun na, Jerry, ang chismis, ang daming valued, I call them valued. Valued employees are leaving. Kasi ito nga, yung flexibility nga, yun na nga. Can we go back to the post of Mr. Plana? Yes. We have to listen on how they want to do work. Otherwise, we risk losing our talent if we cannot provide the flexibility they need. Flexibility in work will be the new competitive advantage in attracting and retaining talent. Oo nga, Jerry, kasi 18 months na sanay. At ang iba talaga yung mga performer na sanay. May mga alam ako, Jerry, na talagang they can really work efficiently and effectively at home. Tapos bigla mong binalik at bigla mo na naman nagkaroon ka ng face-to-face, what do you call this, micromanaging. And then you're not anymore flexible. Aalis. So actually, I think the change will be on leaders, on managers, and they must do it now. So what I gather is that we have to review the timekeeping, we have to review yung performance management galing kay Mark, and then we have to review ito ngang sinasabi ni Jerry, and how to lead. Actually, this is lead. And these are not actually techniques. Babalik ka doon sa babalik ka doon sa what do you call this? Tawag nito, the frame, hindi naman theories, the reason behind it, the thought behind it. So talagang, kasi you have to really look into bakit mo ito gagawin. So it's really the time of looking into parang the perspective, our thinking, our mindset, and now we are now going to manage people because it's changing. I think, Jerry, you will agree with me because parang you're doing this and it's actually changing. Diba? Yung parang ang hirap nga nito kasi di ba may mga kasibahan that you cannot change horses while you are actually on the go. Kasi it's actually happening. You cannot say, wait, stop muna. Everything is actually changing and very drastic. We are being asked to be at home. We are being asked to do this. We are being asked to cut on. And then, ano talaga ang gagawin? Yep. So, it's time. I am so glad that we were able to discuss it. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Gemma. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you for all those who join us today. So, nice conversation. What are the competencies needed? A lot. And one of them is actually adaptability. One of them is actually technology, as given by Idurine. And one of them is be savvy with technology. One of them is actually on our mindset. And these are actually not only uh, qualities, but competencies that we must have. And what are the things that we need to review? That of time, reckoning of time, and then I can let's discuss this on Thursday how we are going to consider rewarding that particular that time that they use the burden that they use. So from the timekeeping to what we call compensation or rewards. Let's discuss that on Thursday. And then the other one is on performance. Thank you, Mark, for reminding us. And how we are going to reckon performance. I even had that lengthy discussion that I think one of the consideration can be the initiative is this Christian. And then the third one is that the one that was mentioned by Jerry. How we are going actually to be flexible in dealing with people who have been used to it. Diba? Gaya na sa akin, Jerry, para bang if it is not actually needed, I would rather have webinars on in Zoom, in this platform, rather than having face-to-face. But maybe there are other session or events that needs face-to-face. Maybe if it is something of a team building wherein you really need people to be. But I did a team building on virtually. So there goes, ladies and gentlemen. What should HR do? A lot. And I think this is the time that we need to really collaborate with people. Ask help. Really be sensitive on what is happening. Anyway, we are on an equal footing, equal playing field. And I think the one that will make us different, our competitive advantage, is if we have the knowledge. If we are updated on what is happening, and our competitive advantage is what we should do. Woe to us, HR, if you still have that fixed mindset. You have thought of those things that I am a very good and I have done this, I have these programs. Just like when I ask them, how is your mentoring program? Mayroon kami, sir. We have mentors. But actually, it is not effective because previous to that, she was telling me that they have some problems now that they're on a work from home. So, try to look into ourselves. Try to see if we have that growth mindset, if we have that outward mindset, if we have that positive mindset, so that we can really lead the change as mentioned by Mark and by Jerry, and for us to be authentic and sincere in looking what are the things to be reviewed and to change, and be humble enough to accept that there is really a need for change, and then really be collaborative. Ask help. As Gemma told us in the previous episode, you have to be a great leader if you're humble enough to accept that you need others' help. And at this time, this is what I mean, but what HR should do. HR actually should do to be updated and to be collaborative and ask help on what they need to do in their own organization. With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Si Jesse Francis Rebustillo po ito. Direct.